Okay, hey everybody, welcome to another Tuesday Lunch with Laura. I'm very excited today because I have an awesome special guest for you. But first, I wanted to welcome all of our new members. Very excited to have you here with us. Make sure that you take full advantage of the group. Ask questions, use the resources in the files that we have for you, and share it with anybody that you think is interested in this space along with you. I also wanted to mention that the free masterclass is up and running and live. I believe all the glitches have been worked out. So I will throw that link in when we are finished today. Again, it is the 5 steps to a wildly profitable virtual assistant business. It is a free masterclass for you. And basically what I talk about in there is the 5 main reasons that VA businesses fail and how you can avoid them. The 3 reasons that you need to start your VA business now, why now is such a great time. And then, of course, we go over the 5-step system so that you can create not just a profitable business, but one that is long-lasting and sustainable, because we want our businesses to be around for years to come. So again, I welcome you. I actually just got an email this morning. I'm not sure if Donna's on here or not, but she actually asked if she could share the link with others because she thought it was really helpful. And so I'm excited about that. So of course, if you guys want to share that link with anybody, go right ahead. And if you are on my email list, I'm sorry if I'm bombarding you with emails this week, but there is so much good stuff to share. I will talk a little bit more about that when we're done. But there is a new online program coming out that I'm going to be letting you guys know about. It's coming out next Tuesday, called Renewed Working Moms with Alicia St. Germain. She's awesome. And actually, she is the reason that we have this amazing guest with us today. So I'm very grateful to her. So this month, what we've talked about is going over the different areas and specialties that virtual assistants can offer. The first week we went over the digital space. Last week we talked all about the administrative side of things. And this week we are going to talk about membership sites. So whether you're looking to be a virtual assistant and help people with their membership site, or maybe you want to create your own membership site, I have a special guest with us today. Her name is Natalie Dormo, and I know I said that wrong, so I'm going to have her say it because she has a beautiful accent. And I'm going to bring her on. Natalie, I'm super excited to have her. She is a membership site builder and an expert. She's created over 200 membership sites to date, and she has created membership sites for people like James Wedmore, who, if you guys know, he's the video guru, and then Melanie Duncan, who is the pinning guru. So I'm super excited to have Natalie with us today. Hi, Natalie.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you. Okay, will you please tell everybody how to properly pronounce your beautiful name?
Sure. So it's Natalie Dorenieux, and it's French.
Yes, and it's beautiful. So Natalie, tell us a little bit more about yourself. I'm really excited to have you on here because this membership space, just like online courses, is just growing and growing and growing. And I feel like it's such an awesome space for anybody who wants to not only build their own membership site, but maybe they want to build their virtual assistant business around supporting people with membership sites. So can you just start out by giving us a little background on you?
Sure. So I am French. And I've lived in the US for 10 years. So I actually have a family business that I run with my husband and business partner. We've been in business since 2006. And the reason we got into, business and being entrepreneurs is that after our studies in France, I'm just going to try to make this short, but it's a good story and it leads to why we're entrepreneurs today. So after school, in France, we decided to pack our bags and live the American dream. So that was me and my husband. He was my boyfriend at the time. And we moved to the US, to the Silicon Valley, San Francisco. Everybody thought we were crazy, but we found a job quickly because we were software engineers, Silicon Valley. So we found a job right away. And we stayed there for 10 years. We had 3 kids there. We got the citizenship, and then we realized that life was too crazy and was too short, and we were just not spending, we had no time to spend with family, right? So we sold everything, we packed our bag, moved back to France, and starting our own business. And now, living on our own terms, working from home, and traveling whenever we want to. So we really started doing websites, just regular websites, and as things, started to progress, like you said, we work with James Wedmore, Melanie Duncan, and some of these people. So we had like a really nice portfolio, and we quickly realized that there was really a market for online courses and membership sites, just because it's such an amazing model to make a bigger impact, scale a business, and create recurring revenues, So, and it's also a great business for moms who want to work from home and have some type of passion or expertise that they can, work on, get money from, on their own terms, right? Working on their own terms. So that's really how we transitioned, probably like 3 years ago, just doing membership sites. And that's all we've been doing ever since.
And, that's a great example too for people to see how you started off in one direction with the websites, and it morphed into this membership site, which is great. And that's what I try to tell them. Actually, I'm going to ask you about this instead. But you and I have talked about this, and I always try to tell people this. I teach it in my, in my course about how niching down is, it's like you have to do it if you really want to be able to just specialize in one thing. You become an expert in that one thing, and that is where you can really just rock your business, and you can, raise your prices. And I want people to understand how important niching down is. So why don't you talk a little bit to that? Because I am such a proponent of it, and I would love to get your feedback on it.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I'm all for niching down. And, for being there, I know that it is a struggle, because you're basically kind of like asked to make a decision on a niche, and you're like, but what if I should have gone this way? What if I should have gone that way? The problem when doing this and wanted to do everything is that we really talk to no one. You cannot be an expert at everything. And what people are really looking for is experts, people that really know their stuff, and they won't expect you to know everything about every single tool. So the more you can specialize on one thing, right, the more valuable your expertise is going to become for the people that actually need that. Okay. But that's not something that comes, easily. Like, I mean, for some people, they can say, I want a niche on a specific tool or something like that. But for some people, it so often comes with starting just doing something that you love and see the type of people that you attract. And then it's going to self-select, and you're going to see, okay, I'm getting all these people that want this. Is that something that I like? Okay, maybe I should focus on just that. And that could be a tool, or that could be, an expertise. That could be a language. For a VA, that can be many things. But you also want to let people that you attract tell you what it is that they love in you. And that can help you find your niche. So I like to say that sometimes the niche finds you. You don't have to find a niche. It finds you. If you just be out there, be supportive, and, share your expertise, and then see what comes around.
Yeah, that's great advice. That's great advice, because it's true. And I feel a lot of people, the reason that they don't pick a niche is because, like you said, they're like, what if I could go this way? What if I could go this way? But you're right. Sometimes it finds you. So that's great advice for everybody. So let me ask you this. When you and your husband started even building the the websites in the beginning, did you envision where you would be right now? I mean, did you have any idea?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. And I think that's one of the things that is preventing people from moving forward, is that they feel like they have to know the bigger outcome. The reality is we never know. All you need to do is the next 2-3 steps to get to a specific goal. And then once you get there, your goals and your ambition is going to change, because you're going to be a different person, and you're going to suddenly have, different needs and different goals. And you have to allow for that. And that's the part that's scary. It's not knowing what it's going to be. But if there is one thing for sure, is that it's not going to be what you think it is going to be. For sure.
That is the truth.
I can tell you like an example. Like, I have a story. 2014, I want to say, I went to a conference in New York for my friend Natalie Lucier, and Off the Charts it was called. She doesn't do it anymore. And she had people on stage, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, if there is one thing I'm never going to do, is get on stage, right? Because who wants to hear from me? I have nothing interesting to say. I'm not a speaker. Guess what? The year after that, she asked me, and I went on stage.
Was that nerve-wracking? Was that crazy?
Well, that's the thing. So there were several of us. It was our first time. And because we were part of a big mastermind, she gave the opportunity to some of us if we wanted to do it. And I thought I would be nervous, but if I say no, I'm going to regret it for the rest of my life. So I might make a fool of myself. We'll see. And it turns out I was not, because I was more excited by sharing my story, because that's what I did. I shared my story, kind of like a mini TEDx, if you want. I don't even know if that existed at the time, but really more sharing my story and how I got to where I was with the tools that I had, my insecurities. I was shy. I was an introvert, all these things, the self-worth, all this stuff, and everything that I had, worked through, and that network that I had around me to support me. And it went amazingly well. And I loved it. So now I'm not pursuing being on stage, but if somebody asked me, you bet I would do it, because I loved it. And that thing, when you get off stage and people actually come to you to talk to you and they line up, that is so empowering. I want to be able to feel that again. That was amazing. But if you had told me to work towards that, I would have never done it. What I did is I surrounded myself with people that lifted me up and gave me the opportunity. And then I was like, do I take it? Or do I say no? And then I'm going to regret it, probably, because I would never know what that feels.
Right. And that's key, is surrounding yourself with people who even you aspire to be or to be like. And, because otherwise, you're right, you stay in that plateau and you're never going to rise up. And that's a great example too of, you were scared, but you did it, right? And not something so that's what I always try to, I see that all the time, people afraid to even start their business because they're afraid of what's going to happen. But you have to, we have somebody in the group who is amazing, Nellie, and she always says, do it scared. And it's the best phrase I've ever heard, because it's true. Right? You got to be scared. You got to get out of that comfort zone, or you're never going to grow. You'll never do anything.
Exactly. Scare and fear should not be something that holds you back. It's something that you're aware that it is happening and you're doing it anyway. And trust me, if you've never done that, you should put yourself out of your comfort zone every day. There should be one thing that you do. It's either reaching out to someone, it's sending that email, it's having that conversation, whatever that is. Because once you start experiencing that and you know how it feels on the other end, you want to do it, because you don't know how it's going to end up, but the feeling, when it works. It doesn't always work, but when it works, the feeling and how you feel empowered on the other side is just amazing. And that's how you grow.
Yes. So true. Such good advice. All right. So let me tell you this. So we're talking about all the good parts, but tell me one failure that you've had, something that really sticks out, or a hurdle that you've overcome through this journey. and what that's done for you?
Oh, many hurdles. And I used to take these failures are like real failures, like self-worth, I'm just not good enough and things like that. Probably, I want to say like the biggest one was to the general problem was thinking that I knew better and that I could learn by myself. And because I had the expertise, all that mindset thing that everybody was talking about, I was not concerned about that, and that I didn't have these limiting beliefs. So basically what happened, I've done launches that got 0 sales just because I did everything, like I know to do the webinars, I know to do the training was great, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't have an audience for it, then you're basically speaking in front of nobody, right? So the things that I've experienced, the main lesson that I've learned is that you have to run towards, and that's not from me, that's from Shanda Sumter, but you have to run toward the fear and toward the things that you are trying to avoid, because that's probably where you need to spend the most time. So for example, for me, the tech was my comfort zone. So I could spend hours working on my own website, right, on my own thing. But I would avoid the marketing, the list building, engaging with people, sending my newsletter, being interviewed with podcasts, which, engaging with people, reaching out to people. I would avoid that. I don't know what I was thinking, but I don't thinking that I didn't need it or, I would just delay it. The problem is that the very things that scare you are the things that you need help with most probably. So either you bite the bullet and you go full in, or you get help. And that can be a peer group, that can be a coach, a mentor, that can be an accountability group, that can be many things. But it's avoid, ignoring the signs that there are things that I was, purposefully not doing or delaying. And this is where basically everything else that you do, gets you no result. So you lost a lot of money, you lost a lot of time. And of course you feel like a loser because you tried something and you spent months on it and you get nothing.
Right. And what is your advice for that? Because I see so many people that let's say that they're trying to start a business, and if they don't succeed in a certain amount of time, they give up.
Okay.
Instead of, okay, this didn't work out this way. What do I need to change to make it happen, to make it work? And a lot of times coming over that mindset of, I gave it 6 months, I just couldn't do it. Sometimes people have thriving businesses in 6 months, and sometimes it takes 3 years. I mean, give us some feedback on that and what your thoughts are around just how to keep it going so that you can, get to your desired outcome, basically.
Yeah. So there is one main thing that I'm seeing, from having worked with so many people, because I'm also coaching people. I'm also coaching people around membership. So one of the things that I'm seeing is that people don't really believe in themselves. So if they don't believe in themselves, if they don't believe they can do it, then you cannot expect other people to believe that you can do it.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And sometimes it comes around. I mean, I've seen people wanting to build membership, teaching people how to build websites. Just because they build their own, they think they are experts and that they can teach that thing. Right. So I'm not here to judge, but I know that this person is going to have a hard time to be successful because deep down, she knows she's not an expert. But she says, I'll learn as I do it. And it doesn't work that way because it works if she's convinced that it will happen. But if she doesn't believe it, who else is going to believe it? Right.
Right.
So, and that drives everything, because the minute there is something that goes wrong, we give up and we go in another direction, shiny object syndrome. That's where the shiny object syndrome. I mean, if you take the analogy of the child, like remember when you were a child and you wanted something so bad, like you would do everything to get it. You would go, you would do anything, and you wouldn't even take no for an answer, right? You would just go after it, right?
That's how I was.
But we're not that as adults, right? So believing that we can do it. And two, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? I mean, I've seen people that are like, oh, I can do this, do that. And they are on Facebook and they are posting about being on a weekend. I have no problem with that. Family time comes first. That's why I have this business. But don't say that you don't have time if I see you, like on the weekend, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But then you still have to make time for the business.
Right.
Otherwise, it's not a priority. And it's okay. But you cannot say, yes, it's a priority and not put time in your calendar to constantly work on it. So if you don't match your actions with your ambition, you're not going to get the results. And you have to believe, you really have to believe that you can do it. So that's why I'm like, you want to niche into something that you know really well. And I can tell you that, like, after having worked, with people where I've managed to help them build recurring revenues, they make more money than me, okay? And that fires me up because now I know I can do it. I totally believe I can because I have. And people can feel it when I am on calls. That's why I actually only sell on the phone, on Zoom. And that's why my conversion rate is great because I am convinced that I can help, and I can convince them if it's the right, offer for them, right? But in order to be in that state, and they're like, oh my gosh, you are so you have all this energy, and it feels so good to talk to you. Like, I'm very positive. It's because I believe. So I want to say the first thing is, do you believe? And if you're trying to be someone that you're not yet, maybe going back to what you know and do that really, really well and get some trainings into the other area so that you can get there and be comfortable saying, yes, I know that stuff, and believe that you can. And people will see that. I think believing is like the main thing that I see when people are like struggling or they are afraid, is like they don't believe in themselves. And for that, for me, I hired someone. I've hired several people. I've had like Natalie, Lucia, like I told you, and then once I reach a certain level, then I hired someone else to get me to the next level.
Right. So you're always taking that ladder, climbing that ladder up, right? Yeah.
And for me, it's really working with someone that has been in my shoes. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's the solution for everybody. I don't know. But for me, that's what makes me comfortable.
Right.
It's someone that has been where I am and understands and has come the other side. And she's going to show me how. And she's going to support me on doing that.
Right. That is key. That's key. So let me ask you another question. For all of the ladies out there that are interested in working as a virtual assistant in the space that you're in, what kind of possibilities and opportunities do you see for them?
Well, one is definitely the VA that would be resourceful, meaning that she or he has clients that could be interested in membership programs, and just being aware of what exists out there and being able to maybe find like either white label solutions or find solutions that could work for their clients. So that's one. Being familiar with basically what it takes to build and then to manage a membership. And then the second part is the second group of people would be the VAs that are more techie and that would want to take on building the membership. Okay. So because I know like some VAs also build some WordPress sites. So that could be an option as well, knowing that you want to do this if you really want to specialize in building membership, right? Because it's it's a lot of work. I mean, if you really want to be good at it, then you're really going to have to invest a lot of time and money, doing that and getting really, really good at that and doing just that. But to talk, like in general terms, memberships are sites that evolve all the time. So they require maintenance. They require putting in new content. They require, constant adjustment and things like that. So there is definitely work for VAs. And we kind of like talked about this, right? And it's not easy to find assistants that actually know about memberships, because it's not that it's still young. It's just that it's very specific, right? And I can definitely see that this is something that is going to be more and more needed. That's one niche that is going to work really, really well. And it's going to be like a recurring long term. And you could totally have like a recurring package for membership. Like, you charge monthly. You have your own membership for maintaining memberships, for membership site owners.
Right. And you're correct on that too, that this would be a great niche for a VA to specialize in, really be able to get good at this one thing, because I see it with course creators too. We get a lot of people, a lot of course creators that come to us and need help with somebody who specifically knows Kajabi or specifically knows Teachable. And knowing that one area and knowing it inside out, backwards and forwards, you can charge top dollar for your services, because they're going to come to you. They're not going to waste a lot of time going through, well, I don't really know. I don't know where to start, because you're going to know where to start. As the virtual assistant, you are going to know, okay, I have done this. This is where we start. This, you could set up a process for them to follow, whatever it is. And I see that in the membership site space as well. I mean, they're just great and ever growing. Like, if you're not in it now and you're looking for, if you're already a VA and you're looking for a new area to concentrate on, or you're just getting into the space and you are techie and you love that stuff, and maybe you are a website builder, I would definitely recommend going this route, because it's going to, like you said, it's only going to grow. It's only going to get bigger.
And it's also going to be a great way to build long-term relationships with your clients, because there is recurring revenue for them. So you're not working on a public website that is not generating money, on its own, right? Like if you maintain their website, for example, I was just taking that example. In the case of a membership, it's an asset that actually generates revenues, right? So it's a very, very important asset. And sometimes this is the main asset of the business. So if you can come in and manage that, then you can build a long-term relationship, and you could, keep staying, with the same clients months after months and years after years. As long as the membership is running, it's making money, you're managing it, everything was fine. There is no reason for them to end a relationship, right? So if you're looking into that long-term relationship with clients, this is definitely a great way.
Right. And what else I see too in this space as well is, if you are really good at what you do, you're going to create a referral based business, because I'm sure that's what you have right now too, right? Like, a lot of people are, when you're in the membership site space or you're in the course creator space, you are hanging around other membership owners, other course creators, and you do a good job. You are going to recommend their services to somebody else. And then that is really when and I always tell people that's what you want. You want that referral based business, because then you're not out there pounding the pavement, because you're just doing a kick butt job, and you're going to have business just from that alone. And it's huge. I do have one question up here. It says, does Natalie work with a specific program for making membership sites?
I do. Actually, I do WordPress sites. So I don't do Kajabi and Teachable and things like that, because my clients tend to be people that want more customization in terms of gamification, progress tracking, a customized onboarding experience, where we can track if people log in, if people do certain things, we can reward them, unlock special bonuses and things like that. And these platforms don't allow you to do that. So not saying that these platforms are not good. It's just, it's not the type of client that I work with. And I choose WordPress because I have that flexibility to do all these things.
Yeah.
So it's WordPress. And then in terms of membership plugins, we work with 3 different ones. I'll just tell you so that they have the whole story. Our favorite is Access Ally because that's the most flexible. And then we also work with MemberPress or Wishlist Member. And with these 3, we can cover 99% of people's needs.
Oh, great.
So,
okay. All right, great.
So that's my niche again. So that's WordPress because I don't work with any clients. The people that come to me, they usually have seen a site, they are in a membership, and they're like, I saw your link at the bottom, or I asked them and they told me it was you, right? Because they want the experience. So my clients come so that I can help them create that custom experience.
Right.
Some people use this platform and it's just about putting in videos and things like that. And for them, it works just as well. And they are very successful. It really depends on your market and what your membership is about. If your membership is about the experience, the community, the engagement, and the relationship you build with people, then you might want more than what this platform offers. And that's kind of like my target. They found me. I mean, people are seeing, like you said, the people that I've worked with. I've worked really hard to get these people in my portfolio, just so you know. And so that I would attract all the people. Oh, you've worked with these people, right? So that was really on purpose. That was a strategy for me to say, okay, I'm going to suck it up. I'm going to lower my prices if I have to, but I want to work with these people. And the minute you get one foot inside, then they start, like you said, talking among each other because they always do. Okay, and that's where you get, to work with all these other people if they're happy with what you do, obviously.
Exactly. Okay. Well, Jana just said, thank you. That's great to know. Okay. So as we wrap up here today, what is one piece of advice or encouragement that you would give to any virtual assistant, looking to get into this space, or to the group in general, I should say?
Well, if they want to get into membership sites, like managing and helping with membership sites, I think that, if they already have clients, I would reach out to clients and find out if they have a membership or if that's something that they are interested in. Surround themselves with other people that are building membership sites. Find these communities. There are like many out there, and just start getting familiar with what it is. And basically join a community of people that actually, already, is doing that. That would be the first step. It's like, without even like trying to find clients or something like that, is get into that community. And then you're going to have to talk to people to find out what attracts you, because you could like pick one tool and try to learn it, but I don't think that's necessarily like the best way. Maybe going back to your clients and see the type of tools that they are using. And if you, pick clients that you love working with and then see what they use. And if you want to attract the same type of people and you know that they're using Kajabi, for example, for their membership, then, maybe you would want to look into Kajabi. If you see they're doing WordPress, okay, maybe I need to get into WordPress. You see? So looking at people that you've worked with, and if you have an ideal client there, see what they do or what other people like them do, and then go from there. There are so many options that, I would just start getting into those groups that talk about memberships. And actually, I have a free group, if that's okay for me to say. It's called the Membership Experiment.
Yes.
It's called the Membership Experiment. It's a free group. I have actually lots of clients in there. So they kind of like use the group as a support group, which I keep reminding them, this is not what it is, guys. But it's really a place for people to talk about leveraging expertise with a membership program. So just being out there, and if you're just even a lurker, reading what people talk about, and maybe, engage with some people and start having conversations and see where that leads you.
That's great. Okay, can you give us the name of that group one more time for those that want to join?
It's called the Membership Experiment.
The Membership Experiment. Okay. And I will look for that and add the link then when we're done, just so that if anybody wants to join, they can join if they're interested in, learning more and connecting with you further.
Yeah.
All right.
And I also do lots of Facebook Live on my business page. So if they want to start like hearing about memberships and when I talk about their problems, what they're struggling with and then solutions. So if you want to get into that space, I have tons of Facebook Lives with problem solutions and things like that. So that start to get familiar basically with the topic and what are people's struggles, what are the tools out there. And then you get to decide, what kind of target you would like to serve.
Right. Great. Okay. I will make sure that those links are in the comments when we finish up here. Natalie, thank you so much for taking time today. It was great to talk to you and see you again.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me, Laura. That was fun.
Yeah, I know it was fun. All right. Well, thank you so much. And I will throw those links in so that people can connect with you further. Okay.
Sure. Awesome. All right. Bye, everybody.
Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So everybody, that was awesome. Natalie is amazing. I will throw those links in for you so that if you want to check out her free Facebook group, her business page, this way you'll be able to, at least if you're new to the space, you'll be able to start learning a little bit about it. Maybe you're already in it and, you just want to stay on top of things. She'll be a really good one for you to follow. So I just want to thank you guys for being with me. Once again, I have a bunch of links that I will throw into you later, when I'm finished up here. But I do want to just remind you about that Working Moms premiere, which is next Tuesday. I'll probably do a separate post for you, but I think it would be great for any of you moms. Alicia covers so many different things, so many different topics, all related around us moms and our working schedules. And, honestly, it doesn't matter if your kids are little or like mine, they're a little older. We all still have the same struggles. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, an amazing week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks, guys.